Today, we're going to wrestle with a statement, one that might make you stop and think. Even if a cage is made of gold, it's still a cage. Just, let that sink in for a moment. What does that really mean for freedom for our lives? So our journey today, it's a deep dive. We're focusing on just one story, but honestly, it's incredibly profound. The source is an excerpt from The Golden Cage, A Parrot's Path to Freedom. And well, it offers some surprising insights, I think, into perception, communication, and what liberty really is. Our mission really is to walk you through this story, sort of pull out those nuggets of wisdom about what might be keeping us caged, even when things seem, comfortable.
It's a really interesting setup, actually, because the story kicks off in what seems like almost a perfect situation. You have this rich man, and he absolutely adores his parrot, keeps it in literally a golden cage, provides amazing food, loves hearing its voice every day. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? On the surface, anyway. Luxury, comfort.
It really does sound idyllic. Like, what more could a parrot want? All the best food, a safe place. But things aren't always what they seem, right? The story takes a turn. So this man, he has to go on a business trip far away. And because he genuinely seems to care, he asks the parrot, "Hey, what can I bring back for you? What gift do you want?" And the parrot's answer, well, it wasn't what he expected at all.
No, definitely not. The parrot wasn't interested in a gift, like a physical object. It asked for a favor instead. It said something like, "Please, when you're there, find my friends, the free parrots in the forest. Tell them I'm stuck here in this cage and, well, I wish I was free like them." It's quite moving, actually. Reveals that deep desire, despite all the gold and comfort.
Yeah, quite poignant. And the man, he promises, says, "Okay, I'll do it." So he travels, finds this forest, sees all the wild parrots, and he delivers the message, just like he said he would. And then what happens is just bizarre.
It really is. The instant he finishes relaying the message, one of the wild parrots just plummets, falls right out of the tree, looks dead. And the man, of course, he's horrified. He feels this immense guilt. He completely misunderstands, thinks, "Oh no, this must have been a close friend of my parrot. And my words, my message somehow killed it." He carries this heavy burden back with him.
You can just imagine him on the journey home, right? Heart just sinking, dreading telling his own parrot. So he gets back and his parrot is all eager. "So what did my friends say?" And the man reluctantly has to tell him about the parrot that just dropped dead. And then his own parrot, the one in the cage. It just goes completely silent. And then after a few moments, it also just falls to the bottom of the cage. It looks totally lifeless.
Right. And the man, he's heartbroken now. Thinks his beloved bird has died from grief or shock. So very sadly, he opens the cage door, takes the dead parrot out, and places it outside.
And that's the moment, isn't it? The big twist.
Exactly. The second it's outside the cage, poof, the dead parrot suddenly flies up, high into the sky. It was never dead at all.
Wow. Just wow. An incredible piece of theater, almost. So what was the explanation?
Well, the parrot calls down from the sky, explains the whole thing. It says, basically, my friend didn't really die. That fall, that was a signal. He was showing me what to do, pretend to be dead. He knew that if I stopped speaking, if I seemed lifeless, you'd think I had nothing left. You'd think I was gone, and then maybe then you'd open the cage and set me free.
That's just genius. An incredibly clever nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
And then the parrot reveals the core reason it was trapped in the first place.
Yes. And this is the line that really hits home. The parrot says, "It was my sweet voice that kept me imprisoned."
Oh.
Think about that. The very thing the owner cherished, the thing that seemed like its greatest asset,
was actually the bar of its cage.
Wow, that completely flips the script on what we value, doesn't it? How does the source material kind of broaden that idea out, this idea of our own gifts becoming traps? Well, it draws a really powerful parallel for all of us, It says something like, everyone has a special quality, but if others discover it before you really understand it yourself, they might use it to trap you. Even in a cage that looks comfortable, like that golden one. You can see that, right? Like someone who's super reliable.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They might get stuck in a job or maybe a relationship that doesn't fulfill them anymore, just because everyone expects them to be reliable. That quality, that sweet voice of reliability keeps them there. Or maybe someone's a great listener, always solving problems for others.
Right, and they never get time for their own stuff.
Exactly. Their strength becomes the thing that burdens them,
Yeah.
that keeps them from their own path.
That's a really insightful connection. It's not just physical cages then. And the parrot, it doesn't just fly away, does it? It leaves the man with some parting words.
It does. Some pretty profound words, actually. It says, "Now I am free, and I wish one day you will also be free yourself. Free from the cages of fear, greed, and habits." So it broadens the whole idea out from the literal cage to these internal ones we all build.
Fear, greed, and habits. Those are big ones. Which of those internal cages do you think is often the sneakiest, the hardest to see?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Mhm.
They're all pretty insidious and often tangled together, aren't they? But I might argue habits can be particularly tricky because they feel comfortable,
Yeah.
normal, predictable. They lull you into thinking this is just how things are, even if that habit is really limiting you. It's that, better the devil you know kind of thinking. And the fear that often underlies it, fear of change, fear of the unknown that keeps you stuck in the habit, just like a cage.
So it's not just about breaking free from things outside us. It's often more about the inside job. How does the story suggest we, unlock those internal cages? What's the path to that kind of freedom?
The core message seems to be about self-knowledge, deep self-awareness. The text puts it beautifully. But when you truly know yourself and learn when to speak, when to stay silent, and when to fly away, only then can you taste real freedom. It's about conscious choice, isn't it? Discernment. It's not enough just to have a quality like the parrot's voice. You need to understand its power, its impact, and when using it serves you, and when perhaps silence or action flying away is the truly freeing choice. That takes knowing yourself pretty well, your fears, your desires, what freedom actually means to you.
Knowing when to speak, when to stay silent, when to fly away. That's powerful. It really highlights that freedom isn't passive. It requires active awareness and sometimes difficult choices. Understanding the true price of that comfortable golden cage. Which brings us towards the end of our deep dive for today. We've journeyed through this story, seeing how freedom means looking beyond just the obvious bars. It means understanding those internal constraints too, and how sometimes the very things we value most about ourselves, our strengths, our comforts, well, they can become our own golden cages. So, as you go about your day, we want to leave you with something to mull over. A question. If this story acts like a mirror, reflecting something back to you, what might it be showing? Consider this. What sweet voice or cherished quality, maybe a habit or a role you play, might you possess? Something that, perhaps in a subtle way, is keeping you in a cage. A comfortable cage, maybe, but still restrictive. And what signal, silent or otherwise, might be the key to finding your own path, your own way to, well, true flight.